All right. Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're joining us from. Coach Kevin Sparks here, and let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to go ahead and do is share my screen with you and point out a couple different things. First of all, I want to point out that we have a Facebook group that matches up with our meetup group, and it has the same name. It's called Live Law of Attraction, Money, Wealth, and Success Training. And the way to find us and join us is when you log into your Facebook account, just go where there's the search function and start typing in Live Law of Attraction, Money, Wealth, and Success Training, and you'll find us there and ask to come join us. The other way to find us is to go directly to facebook.com/groups, that's plural, /money manifesting coach as one word. I'll repeat that. That's facebook.com/groups is plural /money manifesting coach as one word. So why might you want to join us? Well, let's say you're here with us today and you like what we're going through and there's something that you would like to review. Since we've gone ahead and hit the record button for the meeting, typically within 24 to 48 hours, you will see today's recording posted here in the group. So for instance, there was yesterday, so it made it in there. And there is the day before and the day before that, and so on and so forth. So if you like something, you can review it. Also, let's say you missed something. Let's say we're in the process of going through something. Sometimes we go through things that just take a day. Sometimes we go through material that takes several days or even a week or two. Okay. Well, if you want to, let's say you were with us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you weren't able to make it yesterday, Thursday, you're back with us on Friday. You can go back and catch up with us by watching whatever it was that you missed. Okay. Of course, each day, if you're not wanting to do that, you just want to show up and be here when you are here, that's fine too. Okay. Want to point out what we are in the process of going through right now and share with you why we're going through it. We are currently going through a book called Hidden Treasures, and I'm going to show you how to get your own free copy. If you want to purchase a copy, you want your own paperback, you will find it on Amazon. You could also get a Kindle version. You can also get an Audible version. You can even buy it on CD. I believe. So anyhow, multiple ways to get it. The author of this book is actually a friend of mine, and she let me know a while back that she was starting to give it away. This is a few years ago. And so I knew that it was available for free. So I went ahead and grabbed a free copy because that makes it easier for us when we go through it to be on the same page for you and me and everybody else to have the exact same one. So there's my friend Leslie Householder, the author. And if you scroll down a little ways right here where it says click for your free download, that's where you can get a free copy. Again, the book is called Hidden Treasures. So why are we going through this book specifically? Well, this book, a lot of people are aware of the law of attraction. Okay. That is something I'm certain that you've heard of. And a lot of people, I'm not saying there aren't some that know this, but there are a lot of people that aren't aware that there's a lot more than just the law of attraction when it comes to the laws that actually govern us manifesting what we want in our life. Matter of fact, the law of attraction is actually not even a primary law. It's a secondary law to the law of vibration. There's a lot of laws out there that govern how the universe functions, okay? But in relationship to manifesting the money and wealth you want in your life, as well as many other things, there are actually 7 laws, okay? And if you don't obey those laws, you will tend not to get the results you want. Now, you might be saying, well, I didn't even know they existed. I get that. That might be the reason that you haven't received exactly what you want in your life. You might be disobeying a law without knowing it. For example, a little child crawling across the floor could go into the kitchen, climb up onto a chair or stool. The child can't walk yet, so they climb up onto the chair or stool, and they climb up onto, let's say it's one of those kitchens with a big island on it, right? And they start crawling across the island. If they don't stop before they get to the end of the island, what's going to happen is there's a law that's going to take effect. It's called the law of gravity, okay? And this child is going to fall, depending on how high up, they're going to fall, 2 or 3 feet to maybe 4 or more feet, which is for a little child like that to fall off a counter onto a floor that is probably made out of wood or tile or something like that. It's not going to be to the child's benefit. The child will get hurt, possibly injured badly, and who knows what will happen. Well, the child was totally innocent. It's not the child's fault. The child didn't know about law of gravity. It doesn't matter. The consequence of disobedience to the law of gravity still affects that child, even though they're completely innocent and unaware that they were breaking a law. Well, you're doing the same thing probably, okay? Either you're breaking one of the 7 laws or more than one of the 7 laws, and or you have programming within your subconscious mind that's in opposition to you receiving actually what you want out of your life. So if you have programming in your subconscious mind that keeps you from receiving what you want in your life, again, you are not going to get what you want out of life. So we have to understand the laws, we have to understand how to reprogram ourselves, and we have to understand the process for manifesting what we want. When we understand all those different things and we apply them correctly, we end up with the results we actually want, okay? So hidden treasures, Leslie and I were both trained to be coaches and facilitators by a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. Don't know if you know Bob Proctor or not, maybe you do. If you've seen the movie The Secret or read the book The Secret, Bob Proctor is heavily highlighted there. He also has his own book called You Were Born Rich. But anyhow, Bob Proctor is going to be 87 years old in July. He has been teaching, he's learned about personal development, how to attract money and wealth into his life, and has been doing so for over 60 years very successfully, or coming up on 60 years. But he's been teaching it for 50 plus years, okay, to those that are willing to, listen to him and be trained by him. So Leslie and I have both received that type of training. We're now independent coaches in teaching people the law of attraction. And again, she authored this book. I've read it many times. I love it in the sense of it is one of the easiest explanations given of how what the 7 laws are and how they actually function. I've read and gone through other material, and I just think Leslie does a phenomenal job with it. So props to Leslie for that. And again, the way to go get it is go to Hidden Treasures. At the very beginning, we've been going through this for a little bit now, but you could certainly, I highly recommend that you get a copy, and or you go into our Facebook group and watch the recordings of previous trainings that we've had over the last several days. Okie doke. What I'm going to do right now is continue on where we left off yesterday and do some reading and then share some commentary where I feel it's appropriate. The thing we tend to do after that is we will typically leave 10 to 15 minutes to go ahead and have interaction with each other, where you'll have the opportunity to share things you would like to share or ask whatever questions you'd like to ask. So if something pops up as a question for you as we go along, go ahead and write it down. And during that 10 to 15 minutes, what we'll do is we'll come out a screen share and we'll all be together with each other. And that would be a good time for you to ask those questions. I'm going to get a sip of water here and we'll get rolling. Okay, law of gender and gestation. This is lesson number 7. Throughout these lessons, we've been looking at the way our natural world operates, and we have been discovering parallels that help us understand how we can shape our circumstances. This final lesson does the same. The law of gender states that in all of creation, there is male and female in every kind. For life to perpetuate, there must be one to plant the seed and one to grow and nourish the seed. In some cases, one creature accomplishes both tasks. So for an idea seed to be created and then manifest in the physical world, there must be an idea planter and an idea grower. Your mind is the recipient of innumerable idea seeds. The media is trying to plant a field of ideas to get you to move into vibration that is in harmony with their products. The adversary is trying to sell you a lifestyle through other media that will only bring you misery. Your own genetics may be responsible for faulty thinking if you permit. So long as you let these influences plant their varieties, your results will be in their control, not yours. However, you may plant your own idea seeds. Choose good seeds by exposing yourself to good input on purpose. You can plant good seeds by creating a new, prosperous idea for your life. You have the power to create a picture in your mind that is completely original. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall into the mind and to take root there produces its own, blossoming sooner or later into act and bearing its own fruitage of opportunity and circumstance. Good thoughts bear good fruit, bad thoughts, bad fruit. The law of gestation states that every seed has an incubation period. In other words, once a seed is planted in the right environment, it begins to develop and reaches maturity after a certain period of time. Farmers know just how long it takes for a pumpkin seed to turn into a pumpkin. Hang on just a second here. Okay. In other words, once a seed is planted in the right environment, it begins to develop and reaches maturity after a certain period of time. Farmers know just how long it takes for a pumpkin seed to turn into a pumpkin. They know just how long to wait before they should pull up the radishes. They don't panic when their strawberries are green instead of red. They know that the process just isn't finished yet. The same law applies to the animal kingdom. The gestation period is approximately 40 weeks for a human, 52 for an elephant, 2 for a mouse. Ideas are seeds too. Held in your mind and nourished there, they grow, mature, and eventually bear fruit. For a reminder of that principle, review Lesson 1, the law of perpetual transmutation. Every idea also has a gestation or incubation period, but we don't know what it is. I do know that the greater the intensity of our seeking, the sooner we find. The degree of faith we have also has an effect. Both of these elements are within our control. We can increase the intensity of our seeking. We can pray more fervently. We can fast, for example. Try skipping food and water for 2 meals, replacing each eating with meditation. We can focus our efforts. Like sunlight in a magnifying glass, our focused thoughts can cause a great effect. We can increase our faith through study and obedience. All of these things help us draw on the powers of heaven to our benefit. They put us in a vibration that is in closer harmony to God, and it is within reason to believe that the closer we are to the source of all blessings, the more blessed we will be. Everything has an appointed time. Things come in waves. The economy is like that. But does that mean that what you seek will come in its appointed time, regardless of your behavior? Not necessarily. All that you need is already all around you. So while you wait for it, you must be preparing yourself. Prepare yourself to receive. By faith it comes, by action you receive it. The sun comes and goes every 24 hours. If you're in the dark now and want sunlight, then you know that it already exists and will come to you. But if you do not go out or open the lid, then when it comes, you'll not be able to receive it. Perhaps the length of time you must wait depends on when you finally take affirmative action. If you come out of your box at midnight or noon, it won't matter. The sun will shine on you in time. Remember, all we need is already in the universe all around us. By applying these principles for the last 6 lessons, we are opening the lid on the box, preparing ourselves to receive the blessing. The length of time we must wait depends to some degree on what time of day we remove the lid. It may be a little different for everyone, but it will come, just as we can depend on a sunrise. We are putting ourselves in the right vibration to receive what we desire. A word about marriage to my single readers. Are you looking for the right one? Be the kind of person you seek, and the right one will naturally or be naturally drawn to you at the right time. Let me repeat this. This is good stuff, especially for those who are single, but this works in many other ways. A word about marriage to my single readers. Are you looking for the right one? Be. Okay. Be the kind of person you seek, and the right one will be naturally drawn to you at the right time. And that's because you will be in vibration with the right person. You have to be the kind of person you're seeking. Now, that doesn't mean you become the same sex, right? That's not what we're talking about. But you need to be in the same vibration. If you continue to attract the kinds of people you don't want, you must change your vibration by changing your thoughts. Let me repeat that also. If you continue to attract the kinds of people you don't want, and not just for relationships or for, a husband or spouse or significant other, but any type of relationship, if you continue to attract, if you continue to attract the kinds of people you don't want, you must change your vibration by changing your thoughts. Try to think the way the kind of person you want would think. If you want a spiritual companion, you must be spiritually minded. If you want a health conscious companion, you must be health conscious first. But remember, your vibration does not change by your thoughts alone, but by turning those thoughts over to your subconscious mind through strong emotional feelings. In other words, you must take time to imagine being the kind of person you dream of and feel the joy of it now. Feel the gratitude you expect to feel. Imagine the prayer of gratitude you expect to utter on the day of your wedding. We can be so stubborn. Elements in nature are predictable because they are obedient to God's laws. We, on the other hand, can be more stubborn. We have free agency. Different by our thoughts. So that you know that you're already wired for the success that you want, but you've actually chosen something different. What do you mean? I didn't choose to be poor, broke, this, that, or the other. Well, by allowing what you've allowed into your subconscious mind to program you, yes, you have. Okay. But the good thing is you can change it. So let me repeat this. This is important stuff. We have within us a blueprint, a pattern plan for success. But we have the ability to choose something different by our thoughts. We can choose to become something less than what we were designed to become. That's kind of a scary thought. But at the same time, it's kind of comforting to know that our highest potential is nature's design. So it's more about allowing it to unfold than it is about making it happen. And I will definitely endorse that 1000%. Most of you don't have what you want because you don't allow it to happen. You're trying to make it happen. So it's more about allowing it to unfold than it is about making it happen. As we dream of becoming the best we can be, we're doing exactly what we were designed to do and very naturally move in that direction. With negative self-talk, we begin to grow toward a less glorious end. God teaches us by his laws how to reach our highest potential if only we would be obedient to natural law, as are the elements. Another sip of water here. The gestation period for our ideas is set and is finite. If we do our part, the reward will come quicker because we're preparing ourselves for the very next sunrise. However, our ideas will never come faster than the period of time they take to mature. I heard it said that just because the baby doesn't come when you expect it to, it doesn't mean you aren't still pregnant. A pregnant woman can depend on the fact that she will not be pregnant forever. Oh, thank heavens for that. Just as we don't always understand the reason that the baby comes a little sooner than expected or a little later than expected, we don't have to know the exact date that our idea will be delivered. Think big. Create a new idea for your life that is so big it scares you. A big miracle is no more difficult for God to perform than a small one. It has been said and quoted so many times that I do not know who said it first. Make no small plans, for they have not the power to stir men's souls. And the beautiful thing is that it doesn't take twice as long to accomplish twice as much. If the woman is pregnant with twins, she does not have to wait 18 months. In fact, she will probably deliver a month sooner than a mother carrying one child. Now think about that for a minute as far as receiving what you want, okay? If a woman is pregnant with twins, she does not have to wait 18 months. In fact, she will probably deliver a month sooner than a mother carrying one child. Stop and consider the possible lesson in that law of nature. Could God be telling you that you can do more than you ever thought possible? It doesn't take twice as much effort to accomplish twice as much. It doesn't take twice as long to earn twice as much. If it takes 1 year to earn what you do, then by this principle, you can earn twice as much in less than 1 year. And wow, 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 that is 100% true. It can be way better than even that. Way, way, way better. I went from working 50, 60 hours a week, making 5 to 6 grand a month, literally in a matter of 2, 3 months change by getting coached, trained and coached to where I was only working 15 to 20 hours a week and making an average of $50,000 a month. So I'll tell you 100% this statement is true. Don't limit your results. We don't need to manage the creative process. This is something else very important to understand. I don't know how to make an ear, but I made one. I've co-created 14 ears, actually. I know that God creates the children and their ears, of course, and I'm just a co-creator. So by the same token, I probably shouldn't take credit for my ideas that reach maturity and come into reality. Granted, I may plant the idea and hold on to it, believing it will come, and take proper action to nourish it. But God's natural processes do the rest. Lovely. But God's natural processes do the rest. For a couple who has struggled to conceive, or a woman who has struggled to carry a baby full term, it is not always an easy thing to believe that the baby will come. Their experience has affected their ability to maintain a childlike faith that the thing they desire will undoubtedly be realized. In the same way, we may struggle to believe that our dreams of any kind will come true if we've had previous dreams shattered. Somehow, we have to muster the same kind of childlike faith that a first-time mother has, who has never had any reason to doubt. Understanding the laws has somehow given me just what I needed to turn back the clock and have the faith of a child. So suppose a woman has successfully conceived, but then the baby doesn't come as planned. Suppose it miscarries. She must trust that the reason for it is that something was wrong. She will need to trust that it is better to let nature interrupt the dream and allow her to simply try again. In terms of other goals, when a dream does not come true, we do not quit trying. We plant a new idea. If a couple wants a baby and they experience a miscarriage, do they throw away the hopes of having a baby? Do they decide that it just wasn't a good idea? No, they keep hoping and keep trying, just as we should keep hoping and trying for our ideal life. If it hasn't come yet, go through these chapters and be sure you're doing your part. Be sure you're applying all the laws to your advantage. Have your idea written down and well defined, and remember, you always gravitate toward your dominant thoughts. You can keep your thoughts positive by comparing your situation to something worse and exercising gratitude. You can change your vibration by changing your thoughts, which change your emotions or feelings, which control your vibration, and you'll be drawn to the circumstances and things that are more in harmonious vibration with yourself. There are opposites in everything. If your situation is catastrophic, then it is simultaneously wonderful. Look for the good in every situation. It's there for you to find. There is a rhythm in nature. Better times are always coming by law. Good times don't have to mean that bad ones are on their way. Rather, just imagine that one day your good times will be less than satisfying, causing you to seek even better times. It's all good. This process leads us to the continual progression, or on to continual progression. Your thoughts affect your circumstances, so do your actions. Send good into the universe, and it will always come back to you. If you're doing all these things, then be at peace. God does the rest. Ultimately, the only thing that really matters is that we remain faithful to God, no matter what. These principles are here to help us use our agency as responsibly as possible, but God is still in charge. Test the principles and take note of what they do for you. How long must you wait? You must wait as long as it takes. If it came sooner than the law dictates, then it wouldn't be what you want. A mother-to-be may be anxious to have the baby, but she must be patient. She doesn't want the embryo, she wants the baby. You don't want your idea to come half-baked. Give it time. In the meantime, work on you. Prepare yourself to receive it. Prepare yourself to be ready when it comes. Put the buckets out before the rain comes. Don't blame God. The following anecdote illustrates the importance of taking action in the pursuit of your goals. This story is told of a woman whose business was going under. She decided to pray to win the lottery. So she prayed and prayed she'd win the lottery to save her business. But the lottery came and went, and she didn't win. After losing her business, she was in danger of losing her home. So she prayed and prayed to win the lottery. But the lottery came and went, and she didn't win. She then was out on the street with her children, homeless, and in the most destitute of circumstances. She prayed and pleaded, "Lord, why didn't you help me win the lottery? I prayed and prayed, but you didn't answer me." To which the Lord replied with a deep booming voice from heaven, "You didn't buy a ticket." Don't misunderstand. The author of this quote and I both agree that the point is not that you should go buy a lottery ticket. That would be gambling at irresponsible odds, the very money the Lord has already blessed you with, in an attempt to attain wealth on the competitive plane. Phew, that's a mouthful. The point is that you must do your part. Don't blame God for your problems. Doing so will only delay your progress. Do all you can do, always believing. The house story. A couple of years, let's see. Yeah, we're going to go with it. A couple of years ago, I decided to use these laws to try and get into a larger, nicer home. No, we couldn't afford one, but as one successful businessman named Dexter Yeager put it, if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. I didn't worry about the how. I only focused on the what. I didn't have anything in savings. Our credit wasn't perfect, but I literally spent a whole week in my room visualizing what I would like to, what it would be like to be in the larger home. I put a lot of detail into my mental picture, and I allowed myself to feel the joy and gratitude as though it were already mine. I was changing my vibration. Yeah, I'm going to read this paragraph again. This is important, especially the top part right here. I didn't worry about the how. I only focused on the what. I didn't worry about the how. I only focused on the what. I didn't worry about the how. I only focused on the what. I didn't have anything in savings. Our credit wasn't perfect, but I literally spent a whole week in my room visualizing what it would be like to be in the larger home. I put a lot of detail into my mental picture, and I allowed myself to feel the joy and gratitude as though it were already mine. I was changing my vibration. I knew the house would have a runaround, something my mother had taught me was important for a family with young children, so they could chase each other and always have an escape, and a certain number of rooms, and a certain kind of roof, and other things that were important to me. I only left my thinking room to tend to my family as needed. Near the end of the week, think about that. I only left my thinking room to tend to my family as needed. So she spent her time building that image and strengthening her faith and gratitude. She took care of her obligations, but that's it. She didn't take her leisure time and go watch TV and do other things that were not in alignment with what it was that she wanted. Near the end of the week, I had an idea come to me that I should go out on an errand. I can't even remember what the errand was, but as I turned a corner near my house, I saw a big truck getting ready to haul a load away from a home that had just been taken over by a bank. They let me inside, and as I looked around, it had every feature I had envisioned. I knew that house would be mine. I was so confident in these principles that I knew they would accept anything I had to offer them for the purchase. I also believed that in time, I'd figure out a way to come up with a down payment. After all, I'd done everything I had been taught to do. I contacted the bank and put in an offer that I believed I could afford, which was probably 2/3 the value of the home. But they declined. They declined? What about these principles? I'd been so sure of this. What happened? That was a hard pill to swallow, but I very quickly decided that something better must be on its way. And I felt gratitude that God knew better than I did what should come of this. I was grateful to know that He is wiser than I and trusted He knew how to bless me perfectly. So I kept looking. Finally, another home came up on the bid list. Its description was not impressive. In fact, it appeared to be a real lousy deal. It indicated a certain square footage and an overly inflated offer price for being on a repo list. The price was ridiculous, but it was in the right area, so I went to look at it anyway. I couldn't believe it. The square footage had been listed wrong. It was everything I wanted and more. It had a pool, crown molding, wainscoting, landscaping, RV parking, a shed, etc. And the time, all of these features were more than I could have expected, coming from the lifestyle I had been accustomed to. I was extremely grateful that I was at least in a home and not still in a rundown apartment in an undesirable part of town. I wasn't sure about this house. It was a little too much for me, but I stopped by the house over and over and tried to picture living there. Could I deserve it? Could I be comfortable there? I spent thinking time in the backyard under the moon there. I think the neighbors must have concluded that I'd already bought it for how much I hung around. We even hung our favorite painting of the lion and the lamb over the fireplace just to see how it would look. We left it there during the whole process. Finally, the bid date came. Our agent humored us by submitting a very low bid, a figure with which I felt comfortable. He gave us his prediction for how much higher it would probably sell. I'd spent so much time counting this dream that when I came to want the house very badly, I became pretty emotional about it and nearly had our agent submit a higher bid and then hope for a way to come through with our offer. But we didn't succumb. We decided that our figure was what we could pay. And if it were to be ours, then it would be ours. If not, then there would be something even better still. That's why I always ask for this or something better. We had to wait a few days before we would hear back on the results of the auction. In the meantime, I drove over to the house and parked in front of it again. I felt an invitation from God that said, just ask. I pondered the impression and felt his spirit confirm the invitation. So I bowed my head and closed my eyes and said, Dear Father, you know what's best for me. I know that if we don't get this house, then there will be something better suited to us. But I also feel your invitation, Father. I want this house, and I'm asking thee now, please let me have this blessing according to thy will. This is my request in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. After that, I felt calm and peaceful and did not allow myself to worry. It was out of my hands. I'd done all I could do. I let go and let God. Friday morning, I came home to find a message on my answering machine from my agent. With a chuckle, he said, well, we got it. I don't believe it, but we got it. We cried, we celebrated, and we loved our home. We later moved to a home that more completely met all of our needs since our family had grown. And as life and our needs continue to evolve, we maintain gratitude for each place we live. Remembering the very first house I had seen, I felt so much gratitude that we didn't get it. The location wasn't nearly as good, and it wasn't nearly as attractive to me as the one we bought. The first one didn't have the upgrades and added features either. It needed a lot of fixing up. The one we bought was amazing to us. I believe it had gone into foreclosure because of too many home improvements and upgrades. I feel that getting ourselves into a better home began with my learning the principles and spending all of that time visualizing and feeling. Remember when she spent those couple weeks it was, right? She spent all of her leisure time. She took care of her obligations, but she spent all of her leisure time in her vision. A greater understanding of the laws has strengthened my faith in God. It has helped me believe in miracles, which would have been previously too incredible to believe. Other things started to come our way that were in harmony with our new picture. We found a creative way of coming up with a down payment and closing costs. The same month that we moved into the new house, my husband started a different job that more than doubled his monthly income. Another result of consciously applying the principles. Our Father in heaven helped us see that we were never stuck for good. We can elevate our thoughts and elevate our life. We can free ourselves from bondage. We can change our circumstances. The power is within us, and it all begins with our thoughts. Plant good ideas in your mind and do not pull them out. Let nature work its miracle. When God created the world, he did not have to force the creation. He said, let there be light, and there was light. Nature is friendly to your plans too. The formless substance wants form. Let it have form. Too often, the thing that keeps it from coming in is doubt and impatience with the seed. Give it time to grow. Leave it there long enough until it has a chance to draw to itself all the elements it needs. Okay. I'm going to stop here. And we will catch up here on Monday. So here we are back together. Awesome. Looks like a few more people joined us since we originally got started. I believe everybody here kind of knows the drill. This is your opportunity to share what you would like to share or ask whatever questions you would like to ask. And since it looks to me like everybody's been here at least once, not going to go over a big explanation, you already know what's appropriate to share and what's appropriate questions to ask. So just go ahead and come off mute and please take advantage of this opportunity that you have to learn some more.
Well, something really cool. Hi, Kevin. It's Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. Good. How about you?
Good. Good. Something really cool happened a few days ago that and I'm kind of wondering if it's the universe's way of saying I need to keep moving forward to be an entrepreneur and quit worrying about trying to find a job with someone else. Oh, and by
Okay.
the way, remember I said I had an interview? I didn't get that job.
Probably not supposed to.
Maybe, I guess. I know it's kind of hard to not take it personal. I can kind of tell that the girl was not real. So I'm not very good at interviewing, but I interview for a living. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, I already felt I didn't do very well. But my husband ended up getting a offer with a very well-known motorcycle guy, at least in the motorcycle industry. He's very well known. And he happened to post on Facebook that he was looking for a mechanic, and he was saying how the boss is an a-hole and the hours are crappy. And he's kind of a funny guy. So it was kind of a funny job ad. And
Yeah.
then my husband posted a meme on there of a guy running to his shop, but not thinking that he really wanted to work because he wants to have his own motorcycle business.
Right.
But so the guy ended up contacting my husband directly and offered him the position. It was almost like, oh my gosh, it's you're handed this gift on a silver platter because he's going to learn how to run a business. He's going to learn from, I mean, and he's going to be working on different bikes and different things he hasn't been able to do over the years. And it's just so exciting. He was so nervous. And after we talked about it and he was totally pumped. So we'll find out today or tomorrow if he gets to be official there. But
Okay.
so it was pretty cool. So I think it's been our intentions and I keep saying we need more money coming in with us not working right now. So it just kind of came. It was pretty cool. It just came on a silver platter, and I hope it works out for him. So it's pretty exciting.
So here's what I would recognize it as, Michelle. You were concerned when it came around to the group coaching that you wanted, that he wasn't going to allow it, right? And so
Yes.
you knew ultimately that you could get it if you really twisted, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted him to be on board.
Yeah, I wanted him to be on board, which he already said no to me first anyway, which is why I knew he didn't want. Yeah.
But he stepped out on faith. I had a conversation with him, told him all the exciting things that were going to happen. And remember when I said most of the people, when it's a situation like that and they come up with the $5,000 for the group coaching, or even the people that I've coached one-on-one in the past that came up with 20 grand or whatever, almost invariably the ones that step out on faith like that, it gets returned to them really quickly because you're telling God in the universe, like I told you, to go celebrate and then trust God to replenish the money. And here it is. And you didn't want to be an employee. And so you probably aren't going to be, unless my very last job that I had before I was able to not work for anybody else was the best one I ever had. Not because it was like the greatest job to do, but because I'd been working for bigger companies up till that point with lots of employees and big corporations, and I've been management. Well, in this situation, I worked for a serial entrepreneur who treated me almost like a partner. So just like what you're talking about with your husband, I got to gain experience and skill in helping him grow and run his business in a way that I wouldn't have had at most other jobs. So exactly what you're talking about, if your husband's able to learn the business and then go have his own shop, or who knows, maybe this guy might be like, you know what, you've been helping me do this for the last, 6 months, 12 months, 18, however long it goes on for him. Do you want to take over the business?
Yes, that's actually what he was kind of thinking or hoping.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, so I'm sharing this with you that's what happened because you made the decision, because some of you out there have access to the ability to have me be your group coach also, but you're scared.
Yes.
And if I do, where's the money going to come from? Or if I use my card, how am I going to pay that bill for a while? You know what? Everybody I've worked with, everybody has had the ability, something happened. Even a person that didn't make a bunch of money, they're like, you know what's crazy? I said, what's that? I said, after I paid for it, I do massages and stuff. She goes, my tips went up unbelievably. I mean, like I was getting paid so much more money, not that my hourly, but my tips were like doubling my income. So people, you've got to step out and let God, just like Leslie just talked about in this chapter, and switch from my help as a coach I'm always going to be available, but it's going to go up June 15th from 5,000 to 10,000. It is, end of story. So you are here with that opportunity to possibly, I say for most people, you're going to 3 to 10 times your income over monthly income over the next 12 months. How would that not be worth it? Unless you don't even make, $500. I mean, if you made $3,000 and it tripled to 9 and it only cost you 5 to get there, yeah, it may be at the period. I said within 12 months, okay? But that's money you have forever, meaning your income's not going to go down. It's only going to increase from there. So get the fear out of the way if you feel that I should help you. Because some of you have felt it, you're just letting fear get in the way. And many of you, once it does go up to 10, you might still show up on Monday through Friday, but most of you will give up on me being your coach. Because if you didn't do it at 5, you're very unlikely to do it at 10. But we'll attract new people. That's what's always happened for me anyway. I'll attract new people that for them, they'll do the 10.
Right.
So that's the way it'll work.
Yeah, for years I had fear. I still do. I'm working on that. That's part of the process of working on ourselves. At least for, I'm trying to get rid of the doubt and the impatience, like it said in the book. I tend to have that. I'm impatient and I have doubt, and then the fear. Fear has always been a major roadblock for both my husband and me. And I'm trying to get rid of that. So yes, doing the 5,000 and doing the coaching, which I wanted to do for the longest time, but always the fear stopped me from doing that. The fear of, oh my gosh, because we can't afford it. We can't do this. We can't do that. And finally, after we talked and plus did the prayer that you sent to me, it was so magical because it was like within a few minutes of me doing that a few times. And I went and talked to him again and was just like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, wait, what? It was so easy. I'm like, wait. That was not what you were saying 2 days ago. It was so easy, but
vibration changed. Something, he knew that something is brewing, and you know what? The funniest thing, he may not be able to put 2 and 2 together today, but I imagine that this opportunity he has is a result of exactly what he allowed to have happen.
That's true. Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe that's the universe's way of saying also that, hopefully he gets paid enough to where I don't have to go get a job outside and I can actually focus on our other businesses that we are in the process of starting, which I think I already told you. But we can always get into that later. But yeah, so thank you. It's so exciting.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Anybody have any thing they want to share or any questions to ask? And obviously in relationship to what we went over today, that would totally be appropriate too. I think what we went over was pretty awesome, actually.
I wanted to. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I wanted to share my experience with the laws of attraction and how I moved to Turkey.
Oh, awesome.
I used to live in America, and then I went to Jamaica. I was in Jamaica.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was in Jamaica for 15 years, in America for 15 years, went back to Jamaica for like a year and a half. I hated it. And then I started looking around the world to where I could move. As long as I had internet, I could work. Yeah. And I kept visualizing myself. I found Turkey. I went on the Airbnb app and I liked Turkey, Alanya, because it's like by the water and it reminds me of Miami. And I kind of had faith. I was like, I want to move there. I don't know anyone in Turkey. I don't speak the language. My parents actually thought I was going to be kidnapped by ISIS. They were like, "Yes, sir, you're going to get kidnapped." I'm like, no, it's going to be fun. But yeah, I wanted to move there, and I just had faith. I kept visualizing myself sitting on at a restaurant in Turkey, and I said I was going to move there. I don't even know the immigration process, like how to stay here. And took a flight, went to Turkey, like halfway to Germany. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? But the excitement, I was like, no, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And I came to Turkey. The same day I came, I actually met a couple, they're from Holland. And they met me at a restaurant and they took me to get tax ID, bank accounts, even did like a sponsorship for me to stay 2 years, gave me a home like for free in a villa. But I realized that everything works out when you have like faith. Like I'm gonna move to Turkey. Like you would never think, like people always ask, like, why did you come to Turkey? But I just had faith that everything will work out, and I've been here going on 3 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. So you are, so when I said good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, although it could be nighttime, what time is it in Turkey?
8:52. I know when you said that, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, oh, good evening for me.
That's
That
awesome.
is so
Well, you know
cool.
what?
Thanks for sharing.
I knew that people from other parts of the world were going to start showing up here pretty soon. My family, even, it's funny, my wife and kids, they're like, you know what? When you say good morning, good afternoon, you know, whatever the part of the country, they're like, you might as well start saying the world, because if you say that, people from other countries will show up. And here you are. So welcome, Kay.
Definitely, but it's like just as the thank you. It's just as the book say, you don't focus on like the how, because I think if I sat down, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? But I
Right.
was just focused on exactly what I wanted. I was like, no, I want to move to Turkey. So, and
Yeah.
it actually happened. So faith does make a difference. And I think she said not just like sitting down and thinking about it, but actually taking the action to receive it.
Yeah.
And then it happens.
Yeah. That's awesome. 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 And you there, Mercedes?
I'm
Can you hear
sorry.
me? Hi, you there, Mercedes?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Can you just verify that what I said about the tips is true?
Yeah, so I started working with you. When was it?
It's been a little while now, and you just also just landed possibly a new career. But anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it's like back in January when I started working with you. Um, so I was doing massage, and at the time I was making like $500 in tips. So I started going back to work, and my tips doubled. So I started making about $1,000 per month in tips.
Yeah, right after, and it was, but it
Wow.
was literally like a week after you signed up to be coached, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because you stepped out on faith.
yeah, uh-huh. And then on Mother's Day, I broke my finger, so I'm out of work until July 12th. And then I just got a job doing sales, so it has the potential to double and triple my income.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I know you've only been there, you literally just got there, but it felt like guided, right? And then you're, even after a day, you're like, you know what, I could see myself doing this.
Yeah, it seems pretty simple. Yeah, yesterday was my first day of training, so yeah, it seems
That's
pretty.
awesome. That's awesome. Reminds me, of course, you know, Ben, these guys don't, but you know Ben. And
Yeah,
then Ben, kind of the same thing. He didn't know he was going to like selling. He was going to medical school, owns a little bit of real estate, but he went out in a few months and made six figures in like 4 or 5 months.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
guys, there's you really, if you are even like a little bit thinking, well, maybe I should have Kevin help me out, then do it. Do it. Figure out a way to do it. It's, you know, it's $5,000 for the group coaching. If you put 3,500 down, you will pay $500 a month. You'll skip a month, but then for 5 months you'll do that. It'll end up being $6,000 instead of five if you don't come up with it all at once. But if you come up with the 3,500 or the five, that keeps you from paying 10 in the future. So, you know, that's just because it just is going to be that way. And I just hope, because I feel like there's maybe 1 to 2 more of you on here that's listening to me that probably should take advantage. I'm not saying that I'm the right coach for everybody. I know though that if money is particularly something you're trying to increase, then you should figure out a way to have me do it. You really, really should, because I'm very good at that. Any other questions or comments before we go today? Anything like, hey, it'll bother you all weekend if you don't get the opportunity to ask?
Just thanks for sharing your stories, Mercedes. And it was a Kay that moved to Turkey. That's just amazing. I love that. And I love that you took your video. I was thinking that, I was like, it would be kind of nice to see everybody face to face. It kind of makes more of a connection. I might have to look
Yeah.
more presentable next time.
Hey, Kay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna
Awesome.
take mine off too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hello. Awesome. 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 Yeah, I wish you guys would do that, but I won't not going to make you do it. Okay. Well, everybody, you have an amazing, awesome, wonderful weekend. And I look
You as
forward to
well.
seeing you Monday.
Yeah, you too.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Ciao.
Bye.